Hello everybody, I'm Matt from the Dickinson Memorial Library in Northfield, and it's time for Tuesday Tales and Tales. Thanks for joining us today. Today's animal is an animal that's in this book, Animals Nobody Loves. It's not the cover animal. It is in this book, but I disagree that nobody loves this animal. This animal's pretty cool. It's an animal you probably know, you've probably heard about it, but you might not have seen it. It's an animal that I warn, don't go near its tail, which is black and white. Do you know what it is? It's the skunk. All right, the first place I'm going to go to look for information about our local wild animal is in our Critters of Massachusetts Pocket Guide, the skunk. Did you know the skunk is famous for defending itself from predators up to 20 feet away with a foul-smelling spray? Even a 3-week-old skunk can spray. Before spraying, a skunk usually hisses, stomps its front feet, and waves its tail in warning. So it gives you a warning, but watch out. And I wanted to tell you about where it dens, that is, where it lives. Under wood piles and buildings, sometimes people have them under their porches, in abandoned burrows, and in stone walls. Here's how they describe it. The striped skunk has a glossy black coat with a thin white stripe between the eyes and a broad white V-shaped stripe on its back and down its bushy tail. The amount of white varies among skunks. So you know what to watch out for, and I hope you see one, but try and keep your distance. All right, so I want to return to that book, Animals Nobody Loves, to tell you what they say about the skunk so that you know what to watch out for. The skunk has 2 white stripes on its back. The stripes tell you to watch out. If you don't bother a skunk, it won't bother you. But if a skunk gets angry or frightened, it can spray a bad-smelling liquid as far as 10 feet. The skunk turns around and raises its tail when danger comes near. If that doesn't scare away the enemy, the skunk uses its spray. There is enough for 6 shots in a row, but 1 blast is usually enough. A direct hit on an animal or person causes burning in the eyes, nose, or mouth. If the spray gets on clothes, the smell could last for weeks. Even your best friend won't come near you when you smell like a skunk. A skunk is usually peaceful. It walks along slowly, looking for insects to eat. It also likes berries, fruits, and seeds. People don't often see a skunk because it goes out mostly at night. So yeah, you should watch out for a skunk, but they're a pretty cool animal. One of the neatest scenes I've ever seen was a mother skunk walking around with a bunch of babies, because it was just this black and white mass that was squirreling all over the place. I could hardly tell how many babies there were there, because they were just a big fuzzy ball of black and white. I want to show you one really fun picture book we have. It's just called The Skunk. It's mostly in black and white, but there are these red highlights that make it a very visually fun book. It's about a man who is initially followed by a skunk, but then the story takes a surprising turn. I encourage you to check this out. It's The Skunk by Mac Barnett. And I also wanted to introduce an author that we haven't talked about before. That is Thornton Burgess. He writes stories about all sorts of animals. In fact, he writes stories about the 3 animals we've talked about so far. The squirrel, the beaver, the raccoon. I almost forgot for a second there. And if you're looking for a place to start with Thornton Burgess, try Jimmy Skunk. And if you like it, there are plenty more stories to read. Lots of stories at the library. That's it for today's Tuesday Tales and Tales. If you have your own tales about skunks, please let us know. I'd love to hear. There are all sorts of fascinating animals around. Come on over to the library and learn about them. Happy reading, everybody.